Hello, I'm Cathy Saputo at Saputo Counseling Services. Yep, I'm married. I've been married since 2015. Up until I got married, I was what I would call single for all my life, although I was in long-term relationships before him. But we married in 2015. He has 3 kids, and they're in their 20s and teens, so it's a lot of fun there. I don't have any pets. We just are on the go too much for pets, so we don't want to do that to any pets. And I'm super close to my nieces and nephew. I love being an aunt, so I spend a lot of time with them. Sure. So my company, Saputo Counseling Services, was actually founded 7 years ago, and I'm a private practice counselor and sex therapist. So I offer individual, couples, and partners, adults primarily, services such as counseling for anxiety, depression, life stage transitions, but also with the sex therapy focus, I help people have the most fulfilling sex life that they want to have, whether that means with their partners or on their own. So a lot of people come to me with challenges that they've had maybe lifelong related to medical issues. It might be that they have, now that they're partnered up, some challenges in working out sexual differences, but really just for whole health and a sex positive perspective. I think when I tell people I'm a sex therapist, they either lean in and get super excited about it, or they kind of slowly go away from me. I think that they think it's more exciting and juicy than it might really be, because I'm really helping people with their sex lives and their sexual health. And it's not always that it's working, right? They're seeing me because something's kind of not working for them. So I help them through a problem, an issue, a complaint. And I think the outsiders might think I'm just hearing juicy sex stories all day. And I'm not. No. I love that it's opening up a conversation around a topic that a lot of people don't feel safe to talk about. So sexual health, it's getting more to be something we can say out loud and talk about. But for a long time, and still, there's stigma, there's shame, there's religious shame, there's family shame around talking about sex and sexual health and our body parts. And so to create an environment where people know I can come in and I can talk to Cathy about my sexual health using all the terms I want to use, and there's no judgment, there's no stigma around it. It's a safe place. It's a place where you'll feel like, I get you, I'm hearing you. I love creating that environment for people. I think I'm just proud that I made this transition to be a counselor. So I used to work in the telecom industry, and I did that for a long time out of college. I had 2 undergrad majors, psychology and telecommunications, and I went the telecommunications route. And so after a layoff in 2010, well, actually I got laid off in 2008, but went back to school in 2010 to change careers, because I kind of knew I wanted to go back to my psychology roots. I felt like I spent a lot of time helping people in the telecom field kind of come to my office and hear their issues and problems. It seemed like a natural transition to become a counselor. And I'm just proud that I took the chance at that time of my life to go for it. Oh gosh. So if I had my way, I would always be at the beach in the sun, but I live in Michigan, so it's not always possible. I am surrounded by the Great Lakes, but it's not always sunshine and, 80-degree temperatures. But yeah, if I could fly me to the beach, get me to the beach, that's where I'd be. It's all challenging in the sense that, there's not still all the support I would want to have. Being in the telecom industry was a very male-dominated industry. So that in of itself, taught me a lot to kind of stand up for myself, assert myself, that I can do things. But when you're on your own in private practice, being a business owner, you're by yourself. So it's really challenging to find others who are like-minded, who understand the work ethic that it takes, understand the challenges and the obstacles that you go through, and really find like that peer support. So that can be a challenge, especially, during the pandemic when we're not seeing people face to face as much. My network that I used to kind of rely on. We're not meeting as much to get together with fellow counselors and fellow sex therapists. So just finding that community that gets you, I think sometimes can be really challenging. And then the usual obstacles of like the financial stuff, the business side, all the things that, I do luckily have a background in, but translating them into a solo private practice, it was a lot. It was a learning curve. I'm still learning. Yeah, that's something actually that I work with my clients a lot too, is how do we have this fulfilling work life for ourselves and also go home and do all the things we want to do there, whether it's mothering, being a spouse, taking care of pets, just relaxing, filling ourselves up. How do we cultivate that? And how do we kind of switch off in between? So it's nice to have kind of a ritual to go, even if it's from like your home office to your home kitchen, right at the end of our days now, I kind of have a ritual for that. So I really try to engage in mindfulness to really have a little bit of like, even if it's like 5 minutes where I say, okay, I'm kind of coming down from my day. And how do I want to show up in my next space? So that helps me just checking in with myself. But it's also just having a lot of conversations with those around me that I care about. So my husband, he's my listening ear, and he luckily is receiving of that. So I can really say like, oh, my day, it's just been such a way. And he knows that I might have to kind of disappear for a while and just read a book, or maybe I do want to start dinner. He just supports me in that way, which I'm very fortunate for. And then I call on others because I am pretty social and I like to kind of bounce ideas off of other people. So that might be I call on a colleague, or I'm in my own therapy because it's necessary to kind of vent off my stuff and take care of me. And that's one way I do it. I guess a lot of people might not know if they meet me now, because I am a counselor now, and I'm in Michigan now. They may not know that I lived in Los Angeles for 14 years. I used to work for MTV Networks. I ran the telecom department there. So I would run into a lot of, kind of celebrities. So one time I kind of stalked, if you will, Matt Dillon in our MTV, studio, just to get a good look at him. And I didn't feel bad about that. So that's one thing you might know is I've seen a lot of celebrities and had some fun. Take care and take stock of your mental health and your sexual health. Make it a priority. Ask yourself, do I think about my sexual health? How do I nurture it? What do I want to know about it? And a place to start would just be kind of take a good look at the relationship you've got with your body. Because a lot of us don't recognize that we're not as in tune with our body as we thought. So it might be like linger in the mirror a little bit longer, pamper yourself in the shower a little differently, just give yourself a nice stroke on your arm. Just get in touch with your body and what it feels and what it knows as a starting point for just getting in touch with your sexual side and your sexual health.